Hey everyone, welcome back to Together We Are Thursdays. Today I want to talk about something that's been really relevant for me recently and also other people as well. I want to talk about, why is it doing that? I'm plugged in. Oh, I'm not plugged in. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I want to talk about eating disorders and other chronic illnesses and like how we cope. I realize that this may not apply to everybody, but a number of us, at least people that I've met, have comorbidities going on. Like in my case, I have the heart failure and malabsorption, chronic pain. Let's see. Lost Little Girly Girl has fibromyalgia. Hungry Hearts has kidney problems. WI guy CCA has insulin dependent diabetes or type 1 diabetes. And so there are quite a number of us who have multiple illnesses, and they definitely affect each other. So I just wanted to talk a bit about that and how difficult it can be to deal with the eating disordered impeti versus the rest of the time and the rest of the ways that we're sane and trying to be okay. Hi Lana, do you want to come say hi? Do you want to tell all the Together We Are subscribers hello? Lana, come say hi. Say hi, Lana. Hi, Miss Lana. Hi, baby. You saying hi? You see yourself in there? My little Lana. The reason I'm making this video, I guess, is that on my other channel, I've recently been reaching out to others who have similar medical issues to me and but are not eating disordered, and it just really got me thinking about how disconnected some of us become in terms of health and wellness, and how we can reconcile these things, because one of the worst things about ED pathology is that there's a lot of distancing, detachment from self, denial, avoidance. The eating disorders themselves evolved as an evasive maladaptive coping mechanism for survival. But yeah, if you've got other medical issues, then it's a mixed bag, whether you are genuinely striving for optimal wellness in general, in your health, or whether the ED pathology extends to your other conditions. For me, the ultimate trigger for my ED came from getting sick and being so sick. And like I've talked about before, there's certain tendencies and latent characteristics and biological disposition, etc., environmental factors, etc., that predisposed me to develop an eating disorder. But the final triggers were physical illness, unrelated. And I find that for me, the first several years of being sick, my problems were unusual, multi-system, vague, evading diagnosis for years, and the profound pain and terror, not knowing what's going on with your body, and not getting answers, and no matter what the docs try and do, they can't find answers, and it's terrifying. And then there's a number of people who have been accused of being attention seeking and making things up. That happened in my case as well. And that is just so hard to cope with. And so I think, like, those of us who had, like, medical problems first, I wonder how much that influenced the development of our eating disorders, and also, once they have manifested, how do we cope with these things? And it's such a complex issue, and I know that this video may not be relevant to a large number of you, but there's a significant enough number of us that I did want to mention it. For me, like, I very much want to be well, and I strive to maximize my health as much as possible. But when things are very difficult, the unfortunate thing is that my first impetus to coping is engaging in eating pathology. And that's so dangerous because it has major consequences on quite a few of my issues: low immunity, malabsorption, pain, nausea, fluid stability. I mean, there's just so many different factors that come into it. And so I would like to query everybody who has an eating disorder on top of some other chronic illness, and how do you cope? How do you find that your ED affects your other issues, and does this affect your efforts in recovery? Because for me, one of the biggest things in wanting to heal and get better is I'm not just dealing with an ED, like, there's just so much serious shit going on, and not, facing that and the fear of it and the implications, and not going to my go-to coping mechanism is very, very difficult. I don't even know how to articulate it with the appropriate magnitude it deserves, because it's a huge, huge issue. But yeah, for me now, especially, since I made my way back from the depths of hell, and with my ED, and now striving for healing, and largely succeeding in those efforts. I think that at some point everybody gets a certain number of wake-up calls. And I wish that I could impart the desire and determination that it takes to really apply oneself in recovery, especially if you've got other things going on, related or not. It's just such a complex issue. Like the past few weeks I've been very ill, and thankfully have been able to keep my head above water with my my triggers and avoiding, like, stopping taking care of myself, whatever. But it's tough because there are some things that I think all of us struggle with this, that we've learned other coping skills, but they just aren't as effective as the pathological maladaptive response are.